Hello, and welcome to the HEAT software short video series. My name is Rene Gonzalez, and I'm joined by my colleague, Duncan McAlynn. And today we're going to be covering a brief introduction on our solutions that plug directly into Microsoft System Center Configuration Manager, or SCCM. So Duncan, when I'm talking to customers that already have Configuration Manager deployed, one of the key problems that we talk about is just lack of visibility of third-party updates within Configuration Manager. It does a really good job on keeping Microsoft products up to date, but now auditors are starting to ask, what about third-party vulnerabilities?
Exactly.
So, how easy it is for us to plug in directly into Configuration Manager so we can provide that visibility to our customers?
It's actually about a 5-minute ordeal. Literally, it's incredibly lightweight installer. In fact, let me just go ahead and show you here. What we've got is about a 12 meg installer. So you can see, it's version 2.2.023. 12 megs in size. When you run the installer, essentially it's the exact same thing that you'll see here. And just stepping through this, 5-screen wizard is really all it takes for the installation, because we're completely utilizing the existing SCCM investments that these customers have made. So there's no additional infrastructure that needs to be designed or deployed. There's no additional client agent that we're pushing out. We're utilizing their existing infrastructure. So those distribution points and management points within the Configuration Manager product, we're using that for our third-party content. So as I go through this quick wizard, the only things we're having to provide are proxy server settings, so that if the system does have to reach out to the internet, well, it will have to reach out to the internet, obviously, to pull our content. If it has to be authenticated through a proxy server, we can provide that information here. Next thing is, it's going to look to see if we're installing this on the primary site server, and do we have appropriate communications to the software update point. We need that software update point role within Config Manager to be able to integrate our solution into WSUS, which is the underlying means of how we actually take our metadata, our content for our catalog, and inject that content into WSUS so it is visible within SCCM, so they can go through that patch process.
Okay, so this plugin or that installer, you would run that typically on your software update point?
Exactly. So here again, it's got the fully qualified domain name, any credentials that are necessary to be able to authenticate to that server, and you do have to be a full admin within SCCM to be able to do our installer, but that's really after that. We utilize all the native SCCM security rules. But for the install, we have to be a full administrator, step through that, pipe in, it'll make sure that we can communicate with that software update point, and then it's just gonna be piping in the serial number, and you're done. Once you click activate, that's it as far as our setup. So again, no infrastructure, no client deployment, no separate consoles. It's all native SCCM infrastructure and client agent.
So just on average, how do you think, or can you give me a time on how typically how long it takes to install our plugin on top of your software update point?
We just did.
That was easy.
Yeah, no kidding. That's exactly the point.
Okay.
So from there, really it just comes down to catalog selection and which vendor products you actually want to start managing within Configuration Manager. So you can see here the summary screen that I've got Adobe, Apple, Citrix, Foxit, Google, etc. The way to get there is simply go through the Manage Products, which is actually the last dialog box you would see in our installation. Come in, make whatever product selections you want based upon your SCCM inventory or asset intelligence reports. Be able to see what's out there in your environment, which ones you need to select here. Once you make those selections, you just click Save and Publish. At that point, you can put your SCCM admin hat back on and do what you've always done and pull up our content within the all software updates or the software updates node, and there you'll start to see all the third-party content that we're providing inside of SCCM. And at that point, you're doing the exact same thing you've always done with your Microsoft updates. Right-click download, right-click deploy, go through the software updates deployment wizard, using all your existing SCCM collections for targeting. If you're using automatic deployment rules, we can plug into that stuff as well.
That's great. I mean, that seems really, really easy and really simple. And we're leveraging the existing infrastructure, so there's no, you get the additional ROI or investment.
Right.
It's
And
really
for you guys out there that are watching, you're probably already an SCCM admin. Your skill sets are around that product. So you're not having to learn a completely new solution and try to figure out how to bring this capability into your environment. You guys can actually turn around after watching this video, become the IT superhero, bring this capability up to management, and being able to sell that solution, to your folks, and being able to bring it in, but with your own skill sets.
That's great. Well, that concludes today's session, and we look forward to you joining us in our future sessions.